an alum of 214, and I've been a teacher in the district for 27 years. I started first at Wheeling, and then went to Hersey, and now I am at Elk Grove. And to be honest, I'm a little leery being here today. I am immunocompromised, so this is the biggest group of people I've been in since March 13th. But the reason I'm here is important. COVID can't be an excuse to stop the wheels of justice. As a member of the Justice Group, we presented a manifesto outlining what schools, not just in our district, as this is a national problem, but what schools need to do to address issues of equity. Our hope was and is that District 214 would become the model for all districts to follow. We collectively have that potential. As the district has not publicly announced an equity statement or plan, we decided as a group that telling the stories of staff and students would help illustrate the need for bold change. So we are going to read some of the stories from our BIPOC colleagues. They have told these stories over and over again, sometimes at meetings some of you have attended. It is time that we, white colleagues and friends, step into their shoes for a change. Several of us will be reading the stories from our colleagues of color. These stories will be shared at every board meeting going forward to be entered into the public record. And we are collecting and filming stories as well to publicly raise awareness throughout the District 214 community as to what goes on in every school in our district. Right now, we have 40 such stories on our website from current students, former students, current and former staff as well. These can be found at D214Justice.org. So today we'll be presenting you the voices of 214 staff.
My first year in the district, and I'm attending an all-school assembly. The previous school I taught at was a lot smaller, and we didn't do large-scale assemblies like this. So it was really exciting to see the grandeur of what the school had put together just to welcome students back in these beautifully adorned hallowed halls. As I entered, students were cheering. The school song was belted out by members of the choir, and there was this feeling of great anticipation of what we were to see. After the singing, I think some random skits were presented, more school spirit chanting, and someone speaking. But honestly, I don't remember much about the introduction of that particular assembly. The one part that I do remember is when a student ran in the middle of the gymnasium floor. I believe she was supposed to be depicting Oprah Winfrey, but all I saw was the painted oil on her skin. The black face is what I remember. She strutted across the floor, did mock interviews with students in the audience, and of course more chanting. I was floored. Is this the place that I work? Is this for real? Don't they know what this means? I didn't know what to say, and I didn't know how to address it. I was new to this place. I wasn't trying to make any waves, but I knew this wasn't right. I had to say something, but no one else seemed to notice, and everyone seemed to be okay with this girl running around in blackface in front of 2,000 people. So what did I do? I closed my mouth, sat in silence, and my heart broke just a little bit for the school that I thought was so grand right before the assembly started. So after it was over, I quickly left the building and I cried a little in my car. I talked to one of my friends on the way home and proclaimed, I don't think I can spend too much time in this district. They convinced me to hang in there, and I did. I would like to say that it got better, and it never happened again. But that same year, the entire staff watched a slideshow salute to our retirees. Pictures of their time in school and life outside of school. The retirees picked the photos ahead of time and gave them to the school to put together, and it happened again. I saw blackface prominently displayed on a large screen, but this time it wasn't a young student. This time it was on the face of a staff member. My heart broke once more, and I thought, I cannot trust this place. This place is not safe. This place is like many other places, and it has racists in it. I was happy when that year ended.
I have been used to being put down, and the racist comments. I went to school to get an education, to be the best I could be, and to get myself out of poverty. I never imagined I would feel disrespected in my profession, but I had felt some of the most hurtful comments while working in D214. Even before starting my first year, I was told not to go to Boxwood because, quote, that's where the Mexicans live and it's not safe. I had to ask for clarification. The Mexicans? I was confused, but let the comment go. I'm a Mexican, and my parents worked in the fields picking grapes, so I couldn't believe what an administrator told me on a Friday, when I was not the only one wearing jeans and my club-sponsored shirt. I was in the mailroom getting my mail when an administrator tells me, hey, you're dressed like a migrant worker. I will never forget that moment, and I feel degraded and belittled just retelling the story. I was so angry, and I didn't know what to do or say. I wanted to leave that place as fast as I could. I stopped a second and replied, yeah, but I make this look good, and walked out. It wasn't until a student came to me and told me that this same administrator told her, in front of her entire class, to explain to them what it was to be barefoot and pregnant because she was Mexican, that I put in a formal grievance. There were 20 counts of racism, and he admitted to 19 of those. The district did nothing to protect me or my students. To this day, this man is revered and honored as a great man, but there are many who are hurt by him. I have been told to speak English when speaking to students or colleagues in Spanish. I have even heard, you are in America, speak English. I don't understand why speaking another language intimidates people, but if I'm a Spanish teacher, shouldn't I be using this language to communicate with my students and other Spanish teachers? I was in the mailroom filling out some paperwork when 3 teachers came in talking about the graduate class they keep together after school. They were talking about things that happened in their last class when one of them sees me and asks me, hey, do you have a master's? I answered that I did. Then another asked me if I got it online. I replied that not only did I go to school like you, but I have 2 masters and I am working on my doctorate. I asked myself if they were talking about the in-person class they were taking, why would they ask if I got my degree online?
In my role, I work with lots of parents. A few years ago, in a time period of 2 weeks, I had 2 separate Latino families arrive at school, asking to withdraw their sons. They both had the same reason. They were fearful for the safety of their son. I brought the first family to speak to the dean. They gave the dean information, names, and reasons why they were fearful for their son. I expected the dean to do something about it. I was shocked when the dean gave the parent the withdrawal paperwork. A week later, when the second family came, I once again took them to the dean's office. The family explained everything, gave the information, gave the names, and explained why they were fearful for their son. Once again, the dean gave them the withdrawal paperwork. Their son was mandated to attend school as they were only 15 years old. The family said they would homeschool. This time I begged the family not to withdraw the student. I pleaded with the dean to do something, but the dean stated they could do nothing. When the family left, the dean stated to me that we need to be on the same page, and that my comments were not helping to get the student to withdraw. I looked at them and asked them, if the family was white, would we have treated them the same way? And would the outcome have been the same? They didn't answer. Later that day, I was spoken to by my supervisor, who reprimanded me for making a racist comment towards the dean. They said I made a racist comment because I defended the rights of a student. Think about that. I was reprimanded for defending the rights of a Latino student. From that day forward, I dreaded walking into that building.
I'm about to start my 8th year as an employee of District 214. And this is important to me because as an alumnus of Elk Grove High School, it has long been my goal to give back to the community that helped shape my life. It has never been my goal to speak my truth to a school board, to a superintendent, or any governing body. Most of my life has been spent hidden in plain sight. Hiding in plain sight. My parents, as progenies of discrimination, have instilled in my siblings and me the ideas that to be Black is to be proud, but often misunderstood. And to be Black is to be kind and gentle-hearted, but often misinterpreted. So often I'm judged by my appearance, my culture, and my word usage. To be the only African American support person in my building is, in a few words, tiring, degrading, and unnecessary. I am proud, I am kind, and I am gentle-hearted to everyone I meet at my school, and I will continue to be just that. But I am also overburdened, burdened to be the token black. To be a token is to be a thing serving as a visible or tangible representation of a fact, a quality, or a feeling. Amanda Seals writes, when you are the only non-white person in a room, you know it. And it can be uncomfortable when your coworkers always point it out. You become the other, or the voice of your race. To be a token is to be treated as a different species. People do not see you as a person. They view the token with arm's length curiosity and nervousness. They fear you as an alien they've not yet decided is friend or foe. What you're hearing today from our group is a need that is being spoken plainly. There is a need to be heard for our experiences and seen for our experiences rather than just as a token. There are children in our district whose skin color, income, and cultural differences make them feel like they are not equal to their white peers. I know because I am a product of District 214. These students are proud, these students are kind, and these students are gentle-hearted, and they deserve to feel uplifted and supported by the school and the community. Thank you.
I was told to learn how to hide my blackness. This was said by a school counselor. She later apologized and said she was just offering me advice. From a former colleague, I was asked where all the good fried chicken places are. I was also asked by a science teacher, is my hair real? Is that all your real hair? A student asked me, is your nephew a thug? I had pictures of blackface placed in my teacher's mailbox. I was asked by a counselor, do black people wash their hair? I just come back from a trip to South Africa. I had a sub call me, Dashiki Jones! He was not let go, nor was he spoken to about the incident. The top admin in the building would not approve a Black Student Union t-shirt. It had the power fist on it, which shows solidarity. The admin said it promoted violence, and even after being educated on it, said no and perpetuated a falsehood and a negative stereotype about Black people.